Hello there, my little lovely friends. Tonight, Walt Disney's Oliver and Company is on our radar. The MAYLA'S Bedtime Stories welcomes everyone. Once again, this version is from Animal Stories book owned by Benguet Provincial Library. On a sidewalk in New York City, five little kittens sat in a box. Many people walked by the box. Soon, all except one tiny kitten had been taken. Meow, meow, called the kitten. Rain filled the box with water, and little kitten tumbled out cold and wet. Still, the kitten looked at the people rushing past him with hopeful eyes. But they were too busy, and the kitten was nearly trampled on the busy sidewalk. Scared and shaking, the poor kitten tried to stay out of the way. Meanwhile, Dodger was roaming the streets looking for action. He was a streetwise dog. When he saw an opportunity, he took it, and the wet kitten was just what he was looking for. Relax, kid. I don't eat cats, said Dodger. In fact, I'm looking for a partner to help me get some of the best sausages in town. While the kitten distracted Louie, the hot dog vendor, Dodger grabbed a string of links and trotted away carefree. The furious kitten raced after him, over the cars, through the wet cement and building constructions, to an old barge in the harbor where Dodger's friends were waiting. Half of those are mine! Yelled the little cat. Dodger smiled at his spunk. So did the other dogs. We've never had a kitten in the gang before, said their human owner, Fagin. It was nice to feel welcome. Contentedly, the kitten tucked himself into the warm fur of Dodger's belly and dreamed about finding a child to love him. The next morning, when the friends went in search for money to help Fagin, they spied a limousine. This fancy car would do the trick, Dodger thought. The kitten climbed into the limousine, eager to help, but got lost in the giant car. When his friends gave up and ran away, he was alone and afraid. It's okay, kitty, said a gentle voice from the back seat. It was a little girl named Jenny. She reached over to untangle the kitten and cuddled him affectionately. The little kitten couldn't believe it. His dream was coming true. In her house in Fifth Avenue, Jenny carried the kitten happily to the kitchen, where she made him a special meal. She named him Oliver and got him a special name tag. They played together at the piano and even took a walk in Central Park. Then, riding in a rowboat and a horse-drawn carriage, Oliver purred happily. I love you, Oliver, Jenny whispered that night as they lay in her warm bed. Oliver purred contentedly. He rubbed his cheek against Jenny's, and they snuggled down to sleep. It had been a wonderful day, the best Oliver had ever had. However, not everyone was happy with Jenny's new pet. There was a show poodle named Georgette who wanted Oliver out. So when Dodger and his friends showed up the next day to rescue their friend, she happily threw the kitten into a bag for them. Poor Oliver! Back at the boat, he looked at the gang with sad eyes. I wanted to stay with Jenny, he told them. But we rescued you, said Dodger, confused. His feelings were hurt. You are part of our family. I was happy there, Oliver told him. He didn't want Dodger to be upset, but Jenny was everything he'd ever dreamed about. Just then, Fagin returned. Fifth Avenue! He whistled excitedly when he saw Oliver's new license. Dear very rich cat owner, blah blah blah, he wrote. He had come up with a plan to pay Sykes the money he owed. It was dark and uncomfortable in Fagin's coat as they waited to collect the ransom. Then he heard Jenny's voice. I just want to get my kitten back, she cried. But I'm lost. Your kitten? Fagin sighed. He paced nervously back and forth, troubled. This little girl was innocent and sweet. Don't cry, he told her. Guiltily, he handed Oliver to her. Oh my goodness, Oliver, Jenny cried. The little kitten was overjoyed to be back in her arms. Suddenly, headlights blinded them. In a flash, Sykes had grabbed Jenny and Oliver had fallen out of her arms. Don't worry, Dodger promised Oliver. We'll get her back. Even Georgette joined the rescue party for the harrowing chase in the subway tunnels and through the streets of New York. Oliver jumped into the limousine, but Sykes' vicious guard dogs were ready to attack. Racing through the streets and onto a bridge, Sykes chased Fagin with his limo. The dogs got Jenny to safety as they raced onto a bridge that had been blocked off. Fagin swerved onto another track. Quickly, Dodger grabbed Oliver and jumped clear of the limousine before it collided with a train. Oh, thank you very much, Jenny said to Dodger as they celebrated together. She hugged Oliver tightly, and Dodger knew this was where the kitten belonged. Later, the gang joined Jenny for her birthday party and sang Happy Birthday to the little girl. As Jenny went to blow out her candles, she looked at Oliver lovingly. All of their wishes had already come true. The end. And that was how these animals became best friends. So good night, sweet dreams, sleep tight, and see you next time. But please don't forget to subscribe because your subscription means a lot. Thank you very much.